Hello everyone, my name's Ian Ramsey and I'm here to tell you about the Antibiotic Amnesty 2023. What's the problem with antibiotics being left over? We know that people who have leftover antibiotics tend not to return them to the pharmacy where they got them from. They tend to keep them. They tend to keep them for reuse for themselves or sometimes for their pets or for other pets. And many of them will throw them away, either in the domestic waste or down the toilet. And once that gets into the environment, then we start to see contamination of our environment with low levels of antibiotics, which lead to resistance in very many cases, because low level of antibiotics is a great way of inducing resistance. So multi-drug resistant organisms are becoming common in the environment, not because we're producing them directly, but because we're producing them indirectly by contaminating our environment with antibiotics. And if you look at a survey done of surfers in UK waters, we find that they have a 3 times higher rate of antibiotic resistance in their guts compared to people who are not surfers. So some time ago, the NHS in Midlands ran an amnesty and found that they got quite significant input from their patients into returning these antibiotics. And they started to tell everyone about it. And in November 2022, UK veterinary practices teamed up with NHS Midlands as a One Health project to try to get a pilot study going to look at whether we could get antibiotics back. And the aim of this amnesty was to encourage patients and to encourage pet owners to return antibiotics to where they got them from for safe disposal. And of course, that action of asking pet owners to return antibiotics feeds into a wider consultation and discussion on antimicrobial resistance in the consulting rooms. And in November 22, we got a huge buy-in from a range of practice chains, from charities, from government organizations, from CPD organizations like Webinar Vet and BSAVA, and a large number of us came together and thought this was a good idea, and we tried to promote it. And we produced a lot of resources. The RCVS Knowledge website in particular is a good place to go. We produced a video for use in waiting rooms. We produced posters. And we got some antibiotics back from some practices, but we really want to do better this year. And in November 2023, we're going all out to try to get as many antibiotics back as we can. We got significant press and digital footprint on the back of the 22 survey, and we're hoping that we'll get even more this year in 23. There are a number of reports. If you want to read more about it, there's a written report. There's something in BSAVA Companion, and it had One Health impact in that human medicine in the form of Nature Medicine took an article on the veterinary antibiotic amnesty, and other NHS regions like NHS Scotland are getting interested. So there's a lot of surge of activity coming through in November 2023, and we'd like you to be part of it. What can you do? Well, the first thing the practice can do is to go and get some stickers from the resources available and put those stickers on their packets that they're giving to their clients, saying "Bring back unused drugs." We can have a specific disposal of old pharmaceuticals bin, a dupe bin. So any plastic tub will do, but have this in a locked area, a safe, secure area away from the public, labeled with antibiotic amnesty. And then make sure that your team is well briefed through practice meetings and so forth. Get your nurses, get your receptionists on board, get your vets on board, and then start contacting your clients. Contact them in newsletters, contact them in Facebook sites, contact them through consults, posters. If you have some clients who've had antibiotics recently and you have their emails, you can even send them a group email and start getting a practice-based approach to bringing back those unused drugs. And at the end, get someone in the practice to go through that dupe bin briefly and submit the data for what you've got on your return to a BSAVA survey, the link of which will be available to you. What can you do personally within your practice? Well, clearly in your consulting, bring to the attention of clients, ask them, do they have any out-of-date drugs? Can they bring them back? If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on X, or as Twitter likes to be known now, then like and retweet and so forth, or re-exit. Share your successes, pictures of those dupe bins with others, post them on your site saying, look at the antibiotics we've got back, and direct others, such as your nurses and your practice managers, to these resources so that we can all join in and get all those antibiotics back and therefore protect our environment. Thank you so much for taking part. It's going to be a big help to everyone if we can get those antibiotics out of those dusty cupboards and back into where they should be, which is the out-of-date pharmaceuticals bin. I've put a little email, a little web page address there for further information, and there'll be further links at the end. Thank you very much.